Cardoso leads Nigeria's delegation to 2025 World Bank IMF annual meetings in Washington. Securities and Exchange Commission deepens digital innovation, a drive to build investor confidence. Oil prices rebound after a sharp sell-off. Asia shares off to a shaky start, but Wall Street futures bounce. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa Abubakar, your guide. And now let's bring you up to speed with business development. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Olayemi Cardoso, will lead Nigeria's delegation, or has led Nigeria's delegation to 2025 annual meetings of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, which opened in Washington today. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Ayo Nanuga, said Cardoso, who serves as the alternate governor for Nigeria at the Bretton Woods institutions, will be representing the country in place of the Minister of Finance and Coordinator Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun. Highlights of this year's meetings include the Development Committee plenary session on October 16th and the International Monetary and Financial Committee meeting scheduled for October 17th. Other key events will feature regional briefings, high-level policy discussions, and press conferences focusing on global economic trends, international development, and financial market stability. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has taken further steps to modernize Nigeria's capital market by integrating digital innovation into its operations. This move is aimed at strengthening investor confidence and creating a more transparent, efficient, and accessible market environment. Director General of the Commission, SEC, Dr. Imomotimi Agama, who stated this, said the Commission is committed to using technology as a tool to transform service delivery and ensure that the Nigerian capital market operates at global standards. He added that SEC's ongoing digital transformation is central to its broader goal of improving regulatory processes and enhancing stakeholder experience. Naira value now 1,455 Naira to a dollar at the official market as crypto prices crash. How much is the Naira exchanging for other currencies? Let's see. And now to pension matters, the director. Okay, before the pension matters, let's look at banking. The managing director of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, Oludari Sunday, has called for enhanced collaboration between the corporation and the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. in addressing emerging risk and challenge within Nigeria's banking sector. He made the call when the president and chairman of the council of the CIBN, Professor Pius Olariwaju, and members of his executive team visited him in Abuja. The NDIC chief executive emphasized the need for a stronger partnership between both institutions in critical areas such as digital banking, cybersecurity, fraud and forgery prevention, as well as sound risk management. The MD noted that while the phenomena of the emerging issues are on the rise, regulators and operators must come together to proffer solutions which help build a stronger financial ecosystem that withstands the vagaries of the innovations to deliver value to the economy. And now to pension, the Director General of the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, Omolola Olowara, has reaffirmed that the ongoing recapitalization exercise remains central to the Commission's reform strategy aimed at strengthening the pension sector against financial shocks, enhancing efficiency and safeguarding contributors' funds. Speaking at the Commission's 2025 Customer Service Week seminar in Abuja, theme Mission Possible, Lo Raran described the recapitalization drive as a crucial step toward bolstering the financial resilience and long-term sustainability of Nigeria's pension industry. According to her, the exercise is designed to ensure that pension fund administrators are adequately capitalized to secure pension assets, promote fair competition, and maintain public confidence in the system. President Tinubu has approved the release of 50 billion naira in seed funding to boost food production. This coincides with the National Agricultural Seeds Council's introduction of a strategic plan for the development of the country's seed sector. Musa Babaliu reports.
Section 45 of the Act establishing the Nigeria Agricultural Seeds Council mandates the creation of a dedicated fund for the seed enterprise. President Bola Tinubu has approved the release of 50 billion naira under this act to be domiciled in the Bank of Industry. The Director General of the Nigeria Agricultural Seed Council, Fatu Mohammed, stated that the approval would be a game changer for the seed subsector of the economy.
Which we are working critically with Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture, the SA to the President on Food Security Coordination Unit, the FRS.
Meanwhile, the Council has reviewed and developed a strategic development plan for 2025 to 2029. The document was presented to key industry players for their input and contributions.
I hope this strategy will streamline a lot of things that will make success seed production in the country.
We will continue to do our best to ensure that Nigeria attains food security and food sovereignty by providing breeder seed of high quality that is owned indigenously by Nigerians.
The document emphasized modern and digital operations, uncompromising quality and innovation, as well as financial sustainable seed ecosystem.
Earlier, we reported that President Tinubu has approved the release of 50 billion naira in seed funding to boost food production. Now, to shed more light on how Nigeria can boost food production through the provision of seeds and agriculture and international rural development economist, who is also the senior technical assistant to the DG NASC and senior technical advisor in the Nigerian Plant Variety Protection Office, Onwuka Charles Jr. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you very much. And
now,
thank you for having me.
Okay, beautiful. Now to delve into it, how critical is seed availability and quality to improving food production in Nigeria? Let's begin with that.
Well, I think the most single key important factor of agricultural production is actually seeds. So production actually starts from seeds. Once you get it wrong at the seed level, then the whole other chains of production, you actually get it wrong there. So what we're trying to do now is to make sure we improve the seed quality, to make sure our farmers get the right seed. Because if you look at now, I think Nigeria has some of the lowest yield per hectare in sub-Saharan Africa. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to boost that to what is obtainable globally.
Now, President Tinubu has approved the release of 50 billion naira in seed funding to boost food production. What do you make of this particular development?
Yeah, I think it's a good development. And this is very important to us because it came at the right time. So maybe I could say maybe 50 for 50, because this year the seed industry in Nigeria turned 50 years, and we'll be marking that milestone sometimes in November. So first of all, I want to also thank President Bola Tinubu, because this is like we've been yearning for this in a long time. And what this fund is going to do is going to address a lot of the critical challenges we have in the seed sector. We have issues of research and development. We have issues of quality assurance. We have issues of infrastructure. So this fund, it's going to come to address a lot of the challenges we have in the seed industry.
So when you say it's important to you, sorry to cut you short, when you say it's important to you, what do you mean by you as a researcher or a farmer?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I think to the farming community, because what we are trying to do now is to also encourage farming at not just a mini practice, but also as a business. And we can only get that right if the farmers are getting the right yield for the right yield per hectare. So with this, we're going to have a robust R&D, because if you look at now, R&D requires a lot of funding. And a lot of the researchers are not maybe giving us exactly what we want. So we want a situation whereby we'll have enough money to do R&D and answer a lot of the questions. You see, there's a growing population, there's climate change. So we have emergence of new pests and diseases. So we need research to come up with new varieties of plants that can withstand a lot of the issues with climate change, emergence of new pests and diseases and all that. And then to the farmers, yeah, they are sure of good quality seeds. To the regulator, who have enough infrastructure to do our job. And then to the research institute, whose mandate is basically genetic improvement and development of new plants. And then we're sure they will also tap into this and begin to go into a very robust research and begin to develop new materials that can answer a lot of the climatic challenges and environmental challenges as well.
Now, how does the government seed distribution program align with the broader national food security agenda?
So you recall at the start of this, the administration of at the start of the current administration, one of the things the president did was to look holistically in the agricultural sector, and he declared a national emergency in agriculture, in food production, in food supply. And so in keeping with that mandate, I think that's why he has also looked at seed as one of the important factors of production. And he has also decided to approve the seed fund, the 50 billion naira seed fund, to support the seed industry.
Now, many smallholder farmers still rely on saved seeds from previous harvests. What measures are being taken to make somehow improve seeds affordable? I mean, make it affordable as well as accessible to them.
Okay, so I think part of what we are trying to do is also to boost our adoption, because currently what we have today is, I think, depending on which statistics you're looking at, the informal sector covers maybe about 70% of the Nigerian seed space. So what it means is that about 70% of the farmers are still getting their seeds from the informal sector, either from their farmer safe seeds, or they continue to use they just get the seeds from anywhere. So what we're trying to do at the state council level, we're also doing a lot of awareness, distributing a lot of materials to make sure the farmers understand the economic importance of renewing their seeds, because that's what we actually encourage. We encourage the farmers to continue to renew their seed to get optimal yield, because we don't want a situation where the farmers will continue to recycle their old seeds or their farm safe seeds, which cannot withstand a lot of the climatic changes we have now. We're also telling the farmers that we have new varieties of plants now. For instance, there's the flood-tolerant rice materials, and some of these varieties we are promoting them along the flood belts. And then there are a lot of fantastic varieties out there for our farmers to use. But then we're not saying we're there yet. And I think what this fund is also going to do is going to also support extension, where the last mile will get the appropriate information for seed use and know the quality and the kind of seed that will be appropriate for their community.
Now, it was reported that Nigeria won the Best Seed Entrepreneurship Award in India. What do you think is responsible for this?
Okay, yeah. So I think that was that award was given by the Indian Chamber of Food and Agriculture, and I think the category is Seed Council leadership. So they looked at the various seed councils in the world and see which of them it's innovative and in terms of leadership and all that. And then Nigeria was found because if you look at in the last 3-4 years, we've done a lot in terms of introducing technology, introducing innovation. Today we have what we call the Seed Codex, which is an authentication. We have the Seed Tracker, we have the our labs are ISTA accredited. Nigeria is now a member of the International Seed Testing Association. Nigeria is also a member of UPOV. We've had the 80th member of the International Union for the Protection of New Plant Varieties. Nigeria is also a member of the OECD Seed Scheme. So we're doing a lot just to better the seed industry. And in Africa, Nigeria is a global lead in Africa and also providing leadership when it comes to the seed sector in Africa. Recently, we've been having interns from neighboring countries, from the Gambia, from Sierra Leone, from Liberia. They've been coming to Nigeria, coming to the Seed Council to do their internship there and to understudy us and see what is it that we are doing that's making our seed very robust.
I just want you to give us a picture of those seeds that stand out amongst those seeds that you've been working on, those ones that stood out right now as farmers are actually trying to, seeing how they could actually boost food security. Which seeds stands out today?
Yeah. So I think depending on which agroecological zone you are, there are different seeds have been bred for different ecological zones. And for those who are in the flood belt, there's the Faro 66, the Faro 67. There are also very old varieties that are very robust, but maybe introduced. There's Faro 60, there's Faro 61, there's Faro 62. And then for maize, there are a lot of summers, depending on which agroecological zones you are. And so I think we'll continue to work with the ADPs to also push some of these varieties to different agroecological zones. Now, it's not only particular to cereal. There's also the roots and tuber. There are also new varieties of cassava, new varieties of yam, and all that. So we are pushing a lot of these varieties, and we encourage the farmers to go into a lot of the accredited seed stores, to get a lot of this information on which variety is most appropriate for their agroecological zone.
Okay, now that the president has approved 50 billion naira in seeds, funding, what should farmers expect from researchers like you?
I think at farmers level, they should expect good quality seeds because that's the only thing a farmer cares about. How quality is the seed? Because farmers are very risk averse. Once they use a bad seed today, they won't go back to those bad seeds tomorrow. So the farmer should expect good quality seed because these funds will enable research to develop better performing seeds. We enable the seed council. Yeah, we enable the seed council to also regulate well and make sure only quality seeds gets to the hand of farmers, and also enable extension to promote those seeds and get them to the hands of the farmers.
And what time frame are we looking at?
I think we're still discussing a lot of the modalities now, but we are not waiting for that because we're already pushing out a lot of innovation. So I think it's immediate.
Okay, thank you very much, Onwuka Charles Jr. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Cocoa Barometer 2025 reports Nigerian farmers in poverty amidst 350,000 tons production. Let's now take a trip to the commodities market. Now let's head to energy, where oil prices rebounded on Monday, recovering from sharp losses in the previous session as investors grew cautiously optimistic that potential talks between President Trump and President Xi could ease tensions between the world's two largest economies and oil consumers. Brent was up 1.64% at $63.76, while WTI had risen 1.73% to $59.92. This rebound came after oil prices tumbled by more than 4% on Friday and hit their lowest level since early May. Investors traded 90.28 billion naira worth of shares on the Nigerian Stock Exchange (NGX) last week. Details with Olaika Ojo.
Thank you, Musa. The NGX All-Share Index and market capitalization appreciated by 2.37% to close the week at 146,988.04 basis points and 93.296 trillion naira. A total turnover of 2.286 billion shares worth 90.280 billion naira in 138,177 deals were traded last week by investors on the floor of the exchange. The financial services industry led the activity chart with 1.355 billion shares valued at 24.588 billion naira in 59,553 deals. The ICT industry followed with 182.822 million shares worth 7.807 billion naira in 12,597 deals, while the third place, the agriculture industry, had a turnover of 181.501 million shares worth 3.548 billion naira in 8,924 deals. Trading in the top three equities, Ella Lakes, Champs Holding Company and Fidelity Bank PLC accounted for 430.968 million shares worth 5.597 billion naira in 10,254 deals, contributing 18.86% and 6.20% to the total equity turnover in volume and value. On exchange-traded products, also known as ETPs, a total of 147,745 units valued at 24.075 million naira were traded in 372 deals. For bonds, a total of 984,209 units valued at 883.357 million naira were traded in 28 deals. On summary of price changes, 51 equities appreciated in price during the week. 41 equities depreciated, while 55 equities remained unchanged. I now hand you over to Maria for updates on global stocks.
Thank you, Olainka. Markets across the globe are given a bearish feel at the start of the week. European stocks were higher on Monday, with mining stocks rebounding. DAX of Germany was up by 0.25%. We have FTSE of the UK at 0.06% lower, while in France, the CAC jumped 0.23%. Asia markets fall after China and US tightened trade restrictions and traded fresh accusations, renewing tensions between the world's two largest economies. The Nikkei 225 of Japan is at 1.01% lower. Shanghai Composite of mainland China was at 0.19% or 3,889. We have the Hang Seng Index of Hong Kong at 1.52% lower or 25,889. U.S. stock futures surge rebounding from Friday's sell-off after President Donald Trump said trade relations with China will be all right. The Dow dips 1.90%. S&P follows at 2.71%. We have the Nasdaq Composite also down 3.56%. Moving to Africa, the market is bullish, mostly bullish, while South Africa JSE top 40 higher by 0.60%. Tunisia Tune Index for Namibia is in green at 0.04%. Ghana reflects at 0.03%, while we have Kenya down 0.67%, and the Tunisia Tune Index also down 0.20%. That's Global Update for Monday. I am Maria Aduzakari. It's back to Musa.
Ali, Maria, and that concludes Business Express. Business Express returns tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your company.